Hello everyone and welcome to Bio 2010, Cell Biology and Biochemistry for the fall of 2022. My name is Dr. Mike Durrell and I'll be teaching you this semester. I really look forward to getting to know you all and working with you. God bless you all. In this short video I wanted to go through the syllabus a little bit. And this is so that we don't have to spend a lot of time in the first day of class really going through this syllabus, this information that's kind of basic but really important. That way we can get started on some of the actual content from the class right away. But this syllabus is available in Canvas, and so I'll show you where in my next video when I walk you through Canvas and how to really succeed in this class. But you'll have some very important information, just such as contact information for me. The class is going to be in ladder 2, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. One really important thing to start off with is that we are actually going to meet from 1:30 to 2:35. I know the class is scheduled from 1:30 to 2:25, but if we meet this extra 10 minutes each day, that actually gives us the chance to have every other Friday off, right? So by meeting an extra 10 minutes for 5 days of the 6 over the course of 2 weeks, we have enough time to take that other Friday off. And so this should really work for most people because there's not much scheduled after this, and if there is something scheduled, it usually doesn't start till 2:45. I've done this for about 10 years now, and it tends to work really well, and it's a good way to give us some extra time off, basically, for kind of that work-life balance that we're all trying to strive for. So please let me know if this extra 10 minutes, 1:30 to 2:35, is not going to work for you. I'm hoping it works for almost everyone, and if there is some exceptions where it's going to be a little bit difficult, we can work our way through it. If it doesn't work, we'll go back to the standard timing. But my hope, again, is to meet from 1:30 to 2:35, thus giving us a chance to have a day off pretty much every other week. All right. The textbook information is here. I've got another short video kind of helping you know how to access and order these because it is a little bit confusing. There's a lab manual that I have written. I've written this so that we can have it as cheap as possible. You do still need to order it, and the cost of this basically is the printing cost, so that you have it with you to fill out in lab and to turn it in at the end. So I have, again, tried to minimize this cost because I know things are really expensive. Office hours. Office hours for me are listed on Mondays and Wednesdays from 8:30 to 11:30 in the morning, and Mondays from 3 to 5 p.m. But I really want to emphasize this. I am available for you whenever possible. So if you happen to be nearby and my door is open, come on in. I'm happy to meet with you to talk about life, to talk about the class, to help you with some concepts you don't understand, whatever it is you need. And also, all you have to do is email me, and we will set up a time that works for both of us. This is my job. This is why I'm here. I really want you to succeed. I really want you to understand, and I really want you to do well in this class. And I'm going to do whatever I can to help you do that. But you have to take the initiative and come see me with things that you're struggling with or with concepts that you want a little help on and so forth. All right? Office hours is not a punishment. Office hours is just a time that I've set aside to really be there to help you out. All right? You're paying for this. Take advantage of it. Come see me when you need some help. And also there are other ways to really succeed. I'll talk about that in one of my other videos, but you can get free tutoring, etc. So I really encourage you to take advantage of the resources the university has and of myself. Take advantage of myself who wants to teach you and wants to help you learn. So that's the office hours right there. We've got some learning objectives. I'm not going to offend you by just reading through all this. You can read through it on your own time, but I do highly recommend that you do so. This is basically a contract for what is expected in this course and information on what you need to do and how you can do well in this course and so forth. So you can see the evaluation and grading along the way here, information on some of the different homework that I'll talk about a little bit more in a bit, and then what kind of the grading breakdown, etc. I'll talk a little bit more about tips for reading a textbook and how to succeed as well. But this is all just kind of some contractual information. This here, again, gives you kind of my general schedule, but again, I am here to help you, so take advantage of coming and see me whenever you need some help. Email me, whatever you need to do. This is the part I want to spend the most time on. This is the tentative score schedule. I'm a very visual learner, so I can do best when I can kind of see things out. So this is just basically a calendar for you. So you can see them by week to week. And essentially, it tells us approximately what we'll be going over that day. We maybe get a little ahead and a little behind at times, but pretty much we'll stay on track. Each week, this is what we will be studying that week, and the textbooks and so forth. Now, this class is taught in a semi-flipped course style. What this means is that you're going to be expected to do a little bit of learning on your own before you come to class so that we can take some of that basic knowledge that you've gained and really work on it together and apply it to some of the harder things to do. And so each week, basically, there is a Learn Smart assignment. So a Learn Smart assignment is an assignment where you're reading the textbook ahead of time and you're just basically doing some online work with that, where the online program is basically helping you understand key terms and testing you on some of the things, and basically it starts emphasizing the parts you need to learn a little bit more, and the parts you're doing well on, it backs off of it. But the purpose of this is so that you have come to class at the beginning of each week having read the text and really at least understanding some of the key terms and some of the key concepts that we will then work together to teach you how to use that knowledge and so forth. All right, and so what you'll want to know here is that the Learn Smart Chapter 2, for example, is due before the first class on week 2. And that means it's due before we're going to start going over Chapter 2. And this doesn't mean that I expect you to learn it all from the textbook, but again, it just means that I want you to come with a little bit of basic understanding that we can build upon. And for some of you, if you've had AP Biology, for example, that Learn Smart might go fast and the reading might be fairly easy. For some of you, it might be something new and you're going to have to spend a little bit more time reading and catching up and so forth. But that helps get everyone on the same playing field, the same level field, when we're going through these things together in class. Right? So what you'll notice is that each week there's generally a Learn Smart assignment due. And it's always due basically by the first day of class in class, so that you've had that ahead of time. So you can see that Learn Smart Chapter 3 is due by that Monday, when we'll start that chapter and so forth. Another thing to look at is there are sometimes some ed puzzles similar to what we're doing right now. So these are usually 20 to 30 minute videos that are introducing you to some of the key concepts. And again, this is me teaching but through a video, so that when we get to class we can spend more time on the concepts that I've learned in the past that students really struggle with. All right, so by going through some of the basic knowledge parts together via video or through the reading the textbook, then we'll have more time to really use the application, things that are harder to do that are really important in you becoming a scientist. All right, so you'll want to pay attention to that too, and you'll see the weeks that there's an ed puzzle activity, and those are just due before we have that first class as well. And I'll show you how to know where all these things are and how to really pay attention to this when we get to the Canvas part. One more thing, there are peer teachings. All right, so you guys are going to be set into groups of 4. And basically these groups are going to be used to teach each other sometimes some basic things, and also to really work on some of the higher order problems and projects together in class. So you'll see that there's peer teaching and team activities. For peer teaching, everyone will basically be assigned a key experiment that really helped us understand a lot of the science that we'll be talking about at that time. And you're going to teach that basically in 10 minutes to your peers. In groups of 4, you'll be either peer number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4. And so basically you're going to teach once throughout the semester. All right, so the peers 1 teach, you can see here, peers 1 are going to teach on the 16th of September. Peers 2 go on the 14th of October, and so forth. So when you're teaching, you have a bit of preparation to do, and there's information on how to do this in Canvas. If you're not teaching, your job is basically to learn, ask questions, and participate in that group. And there's also some team activities scheduled, usually on Fridays as well. And this is where we're going to kind of work on some of the concepts together in your group so that you can help each other really thrive in this class, understand, and so forth. All right, so those are the group activities there. You can see the dates of the exams and so forth. And this is going to really help you know what's expected and when, along with Canvas. And Canvas should be your best friend in terms of knowing what's due, when, and what's coming up as well. And I'll really walk you through that in the Canvas video. The other part of this course is the lab portion. And so if you're watching this video, that means you're in my section, so you're either in section 1A or 2A, and this is on Wednesday afternoon or Thursday morning. Basically, this is a required component of the class. It's really important that you are able to do some hands-on learning and really applying the things that we are doing in class. Plus, it will help you understand and really apply and think through those concepts that we're learning in class with hands-on experiments. And so, again, you can read through this. I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but the key aspect is the calendar at the end, right? So it's going to tell you what we're doing each week. So you have your lab manual, and that lab manual is basically separated into 6 different labs: Lab 1, Lab 2, Lab 3, and so forth. And you're expected to have read through the lab prior to coming to lab. And there is going to be a quiz at the beginning of each lab to hold you accountable for those parts. And also really to just reward you. It should be a relatively easy quiz if you read for understanding. And by reading ahead of time, you're going to come to lab prepared to efficiently complete the work we need to do. And also what you're doing is going to make a lot more sense because you have the context for which it applies. All right, so it's going to show you what labs we're working on together. And as we get later on in the course, we're going to have some 2-week labs. And this is where we're going to work on a standard lab that teaches you the concepts, teaches you the techniques, and then towards the end of that lab, you're going to design your own experiment and your own hypotheses, and you're actually going to implement that next week. So these 2 weeks labs start with a regular kind of cookie cutter lab, and then you get to do your own lab experiment based on that lab technique and that concept. And you'll see that that happens a couple of times, actually in the last 3 different labs. And the other thing that I want to point out here is that there are some mini labs. So each week that we have exam, there's a mini lab, and that mini lab should only take about an hour. So you still need to prepare the same way, but we're going to have a shorter lab, and that leaves us a couple hours for you guys to review and have some study time for the exam. And also just a shorter time to take a break the week of that exam. And so that's this mini lab on microscopy. A couple other weeks it's bioethics. So we're going to have some discussions, about a 1-hour discussion on some bioethical issues that apply to science and so forth. And so that'll be the mini lab, just that 1 hour that day. And then last but not least, we'll talk more about this as well in lab, but for those 2-week labs, there's going to be the standard lab questions that are in your lab manual, but also you're going to learn how to write a lab report. And there'll be more information on that, but you're going to practice writing 2 lab reports throughout the semester. And so the grade information is there, all the due dates, all the information that you need can be found right here. So hopefully that helps you kind of as we go through the syllabus and what's expected in this course. Again, I'm going to have 2 more hopefully short videos on guiding you how to find all these things and access Canvas to work through exactly what's needs to be done, etc. And then also a short video on how to succeed in this class, especially important for those of you that are first-time freshmen really learning how to do well in a college level course. All right, thanks everyone. Hope that was helpful.